Hello, everyone. This is Mel Rapozo, Council Chair, Kauai County Council. With me, Councilmember Billy DeCosta, also serving the Kauai County Council. Wanted to do this real quick video to explain some misunderstandings that may be circulating in the community regarding our actions of Tuesday, where we had our budget decision making, and Councilmember DeCosta initiated a proposal which would increase the property tax rates for hotel and resort, as well as the vacation rental. And long story short, after deliberation and discussion and debate amongst the council members, Councilmember Kualihi came out with a amended version of the proposal, which basically set up an increase in the hotel and resort class property tax, not transit accommodation tax, which is what a lot of people are thinking, as well as tiering the tax rates for vacation rental properties. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. DeCosta because this was his proposal. And I want him to explain the reason why, because no one wants to raise taxes. I can honestly say in all the years that I've served on this council, we have not raised taxes. But Mr. DeCosta came with a different perspective, and that I got to say, I agree with, and I appreciate the courage. But Mr. DeCosta, if you want to just share with you the reasoning behind your proposal.
Yeah, and I'll give a little, thank you, Chair Rapozo. And he's way too kind. It wasn't just my idea. He's way too kind. It wasn't just my idea. About 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, Chair Rapozo and I talked about housing crisis in Hawaii and our kids living crisis in Hawaii and our kids living on the mainland and having to move away. And his lives in Oregon and he's thriving. My son lives in Washington and he's thriving, and his daughter is in Texas and he's thriving. And I have my youngest boy in college in California. I'm not sure if he's going to stay, but he's currently there now. So the point of the matter was the chair and I said that the kids are leaving today. Before they would leave because they wanted to. Today they leave because they have to. They have no place to rent, no place to buy. And even if there was places to buy or to rent, it's way too expensive. So it's not just my idea. You helped spark that light bulb. What I can take credit for is the guy that just pulls the trigger. Sometimes it's a good trigger, and sometimes it's a bad trigger. But this one, I pulled the trigger on that property tax. And since 2014, hotel and resort was never raised. 10 years of the same tax bracket. 10 years of many profitable years of tourism. Well, it seemed like the TVRs. So the TVR rate, the mayor wanted it to go from 9.85 to 10.85. So the mayor raised the TVR rate $1. All I did was
basically, real quick, what the mayor did was move the tax rate from the TVRs to the same tax rate as resorts and hotels, which I 100% support.
Correct. But at the same time, if you're going to raise TVRs, why wouldn't you not raise the hotel and resort?
Correct.
So I took the hotel and resort to $11.75, which is the current price that Maui pays, and Oahu pays $13 and something cents, and Big Island is right behind us at $11.55. So we were the lowest, and we're called the Garden Island, right? You pay to play. You come here, you pay. You play on our backyard. So I raised both of them to $11.75, and it didn't go too well with some of our council members that we had to do an amendment with Councilor Kipukai. And, just to give you guys a little bit of logistics on how this is going to work. So the money is going to be put into the housing agency, direct deposit this year alone, $7.4 million, which possibly will yield the same amount from here on after. And that money will be used for land banking and or infrastructure improvements. Now, what is land banking, Chair? I want you to tell our constituents that the discussion you and I had about how all these billionaires and large landowners and wealthy people are purchasing large chunks of land. Well, the county does not have a bank account to purchase land. So now we do.
Yeah, land banking was, I remember when Councilmember Jay Fofaro, he was the chair of the council back 15 years ago or so. He and I was longer than that. Brian Baptiste was the mayor. And we introduced and got a resolution passed that encouraged the administration to start land banking. In other words, going out and purchasing available properties when opportunities came up. So we would have the opportunity to have land available when we needed to build housing. One of the things and Mr. DeCosta spoke a lot of yet on Tuesday, was we always have access to federal funds, always. But when we tap the federal funds, it comes with a restriction on income. So you're looking at the low income, affordable housing category. What it doesn't cover is the gap group, is the housing market that we so badly need today for our working families, the police, the fire, the school teachers, the nurses,
The welders, the carpenters, the plumbers.
correct. See, they make too much money to fall into the affordable bracket, and they simply don't have enough money to purchase homes on this island when the median sales price is 1.6 million. No one can get a mortgage. So that gap group, that gap of what we would call workforce housing is very, in fact, non-existent right now. So with the ability to purchase land, now we can work with private developers, nonprofit developers that can actually produce product inventory in that gap market range, because the land, price of the land is not there because the county owns the land. So incredible courage to do something like this. In fact, I think, Mr. DeCosta, you're getting the same emails I'm getting
Yes.
regarding very upset people. We're getting emails thanking us as well, but I think, the TVR operators, the hotel resort people are not happy. But listen, we made a commitment on this council a year and a half ago that we were going to focus on our residents, that we were going to focus on our young families, that we were going to do what we could within our power on the county council to do what we need to do to take care of our local families and our local residents. And this is a very aggressive, proactive measure that's going to upset some people. But at the end of the day, the county will benefit by having funds available to purchase land that can go to our middle class. That, again, as I said earlier, those opportunities are non-existent. So thank you for having that courage to at least put this forward.
No, Chair, like we both discussed, right? The basic economics, and that's my major in college, was to figure out how do you circulate money. Well, when you go into the real estate market, in order to purchase land, you need some kind of down payment. You need some kind of land money in your bank. So basically now the county has a bank account. So we go out there, we purchase a piece of land. Let's say we purchase 100 acres. We purchase 100 acres at $2 million or $3 million. At that point, we own the land. Now we can take that land to the mortgage company and mortgage against the land and borrow to build middle-class homes. We go in partnership with a developer. We construct a square footage price. Right now, I believe it's almost $1,000 a square foot for the development in Kukui'ula, the very wealthy people. Well, currently, there's other contractors doing it for $400 and $500 a square foot. So we contract that contractor. We build out the home. We have our local families, whether it's a bellhop, married a nurse, or a hotel manager, marry a school teacher, or whether a welder marries a waitress at Keoki's Paradise. They can now qualify for that full $500,000 loan. They can have a house and they're not mortgage poor. They can live on the island, and we can craft communities that are attractive for our middle-class families to live in. And we're not at the backseat of the billionaires who purchase all the land all the time. Chunks of land, Chair, that no intention to build anything on but space for them to live happily ever after.
Again, it was always our focus to, we got an email today that said, when we raise taxes like these, we disincentivize investors from coming here. We disincentivize second homeowners to buy over here. And you know what? I agree. That's the intent. The intent of this bill is to try to get as much or as many affordable housing, workforce housing units into our inventory so our local families can stay on Kauai. I keep saying my two kids are on the mainland. They don't have any plans on coming back because they've gotten used to a lifestyle that they can live and enjoy life. And if they were here on Kauai in today's conditions, they'd all have multiple jobs, and that's not required in the mainland where they live right now. So my focus is not on the vacation rental property owners. My focus is not on these investors that come here and buying up these tracts of land, that every time we sell a block of land to a private buyer, that has absolutely no intention of creating housing for our local families. We take away opportunities for our kids to be able to purchase a home or even rent a home and remain on this island.
The inventory is being bought up, Chair, you know. And Chair, I feel like you and I are compassionate to give an explanation to the hotel resort or the TVRs. And, you know, frankly, I don't think we need to. We are the politicians who make the policy. We set the rate. This is our job. This is why you voted us in. If you don't like us, then don't vote us in next time. But you know, as well as I know, this is about a great cause. And if you cannot see the cause, shame on you. Because you come here to buy 2 or 3 homes, want to turn around and vacation rental it and make a lump sum of money so you can enjoy your lifestyle where my kid, his kid, and your kid moves away to the mainland because the enjoyment is not possible. So when we looked at the amount we raised them, and I should have raised them another dollar. It should have been $12.75. I look at the tier that you so well constructed on the amount that each unit will pay extra per night to the visitor. So Chair will explain to you how much more it's going to cost a hotel like the Sheraton, a hotel like the Hyatt, a hotel like the Sonesta. And hey, for all of you workers out there in the hotel, this is not against you. Our bartenders, our bellhop, our house cleaning, this is not to put your job in jeopardy. This is to hold accountability to the largest people who make the most funding on Kauai, the resort and TVRs, hold them accountable and put the tax back on the people who are impacting our way of life here on Kauai. So Chair, explain that the increase that they're going to put off on the visitor.
First of all, let me say that one of the major complaints I get from the resort community, the managers, is that they cannot find workers. And the reason they cannot find workers is because there's no housing. So I look at this from another angle, saying that, you know, if we can promote more housing for that working class group, the middle class group, it should down the road help create or bring people up to take these jobs. But I do want to talk about the rates that were increased, because no one's talking about that. And it was a very minimal increase. As you know, in Kauai, we assess properties and we charge a tax rate per $1,000 of value. So if your house is worth $100,000 and your tax rate is $5 per $1,000, then your tax is $5,000. It's very simple. Well, in the resort class, I did the analysis just this morning, actually, because we had been receiving emails from the public, from members of the resort community, some very high level leadership, and they're threatening for, not, I shouldn't say threatening, but they're inferring that this tax is going to wipe out the resort industry. It's going to stop tourists from coming. And the reality is this: I did 6 hotels. I did 2 of the big ones, the Grand Hyatt and the one hotel in Princeville. I did Kauai Shores, I did ISO Kauai, I did the Sheraton Coconut Beach, and I did the Hilton Garden Inn. Based on their values and the tax rate, the increase was 90 cents per $1,000 of value. 90 cents, not even a dollar. So if you take that additional burden, tax burden on the resort, and it raised anywhere from $16,000 a year to, in one case, one of the bigger hotels, it was up to about $400,000 a year. But if you take the room nights that hotel offers, the amount of rooms times 365 days gives you the total number of room nights that they can sell in a year. And assuming that there's a 70% occupancy rate throughout the year, average is typically 70. Some of these bigger hotels run occupancies of 90% and above. But using 70%, the 2 major hotels, the Hyatt and the one hotel in Princeville, their per room night increase, if they wanted to pass on this increased the tax increase to their guests, they would have to raise their daily room rate about $2. And all of the other smaller hotels, the Kauai Shores was 36 cents per room night. And you had 50 cents, 65 cents. My point is this: the financial impact to the hotel and resort community and to the TVR community is not going to be felt because it's so minute. But the return that we will get is almost $8 million in cash money that we can use to purchase land that will benefit our local residents. I cannot imagine anybody feeling upset about that. See, when our assessments go up and our tax rate may not change, but when our assessments go up, our tax bills go up. Us as local residents, we don't have the ability to pass on that money or that amount to our customers because we got to come up with the money. In this case, again, the fiscal impact to these resorts and to these TVRs are going to be so minimal, they will not even feel it. They will not even feel it. It's, charge an extra $3 on your room night. One of the complaints was that we never reached out to the community, to the resort industry or to the hotel industry. To be frank, these proposals get dropped on Tuesday, and it's for many of us, it's the first time we got to see it because of the sunshine law. We're not able to discuss what we're doing. You see, we have our job to do. And right now, our priority is trying to keep our local kids and our local families here on Kauai. And we are limited in what we can do. And this helps us, gives us an additional tool where we're going to be able to at least bag some land and provide that opportunity for our local families to own a home. I mean, it's incredible.
It is, Chair, and it is. Thank you to all of you who are listening and who agree with us. And if you don't agree, please watch this like 2 or 3 times so you can get the message, because it's pretty self-explanatory. I did want to say something about the TVRs. I did say a comment that TVRs, they don't do much or anything for the island, but there is a few local TVRs that hire local people that clean the yards and do the housekeeping and do the window cleaning. So there is TVRs that do that. But I also want to ask that TVR person, do you think by the job you give the laundry person that comes into the laundry or a landscaping person, they can be able to buy a TVR like you did? So they cannot. So yeah, at least the hotels provide